Konnichiwa friends, and welcome back to the Family Fudge. Today I am super excited to bring you another episode of Bunches of Lunches Japan edition. The kids are back in Japan for the second time, but for me, this is going to be my 7th visit. We absolutely love Japan and I can't wait to share all of the interesting lunches we're trying this time around. In fact, we have so many fun lunches to share that today's video is just part 1, so stay tuned for next week because in part 2 I'm sharing all of the lunches we tried at Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, and you guys, one of those lunches was my favorite from the entire trip. But of course, that's not all. With the lunches, I'll also share a peek into our daily adventures as we explore this amazing country, and I'll also share some tips and fun facts along the way. So come along with us as we experience Japanese versions of Costco, McDonald's, 7-Eleven. We'll show you all the shopping we did, all of the transportation, and I cannot forget to show you the black eggs that we bought at an active volcanic valley. And you guys will have to let me know if you think we were scammed on those or not, so stay tuned. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's time to come join the family and let the lunches begin. Itadakimasu! Say good morning!
Good morning!
Today is our first official day in Tokyo and we are ready to go. So guys, we don't have a lot on the agenda today. We want to go to Book Off. The kids love that place. We also want to go to Costco, so come with us. Now I know you might be thinking, why the heck would you fly all the way to Japan to have lunch at Costco? Number 1, we're gonna have plenty of time later in the trip to try more traditional food, so I'm not worried about that. Number 2, we love visiting Costco's around the world. It's so fun to see how they're similar and how they're different, especially when it comes to the food court menu, so stay tuned for that. And then of course, reason number 3 is that it's an easy first day activity to help us get over our jet lag. Getting outside, spending time in natural light, eating meals during the local time schedule are all things you can do to help get over jet lag faster. And you also want to make sure to stay hydrated. And can I just tell you how much I love a Japanese vending machine? They are so cool. And they're practically everywhere. So long story short, we wanted to go to Costco anyway, and this was our only day we had in our schedule to make it work. So that's what we decided to do for lunch. But then we also knew that there was a Book Off nearby, so we stopped there first. Now when it comes to Book Off, I first discovered this store when I was a teen during my first trip to Japan, and I instantly fell in love. I still have the Sailor Moon manga series that I found way back then. Last year I took my kids to a Book Off for the very first time, and now they're also just as obsessed. These stores are seriously like a treasure hunt, especially the larger stores that they call Book Off bazaars. You can find so much more than just books. They have so many cute clothing items, although most of them were too small for me. They also have home goods. I love looking at all of the lunchboxes. They have electronics, musical instruments, and they even have things like surfboards and camping gear. Now, we've never camped in Japan before, but it sounds like such an exciting adventure. I'm putting that on my bucket list. Now, the girls and I had a blast browsing through all of the bags and the purses, but what we really were on the hunt for were the Disney items. Now we found so many amazing gems in perfect condition at a fraction of the cost. But with limited suitcase space and no car this trip, we had to be selective since we'd be carrying all of our finds to Costco with us next. And don't worry, I will show you everything we ended up buying once we get back to the Airbnb. The walk to Costco was about 30 minutes, so by the time we got there, we were ready for lunch. And I'll be honest with you guys, going to Costco on foot was a little crazy. But going to Costco on a Saturday on foot was even crazier. Back at home, I would never go to Costco on a weekend because it can get a little intense. But like I said, this was the only day we had in our schedule, so we had to make it work. And yes, it really did help us get over our jet lag faster. So for lunch on this day, we enjoyed our Costco favorites, along with some Japanese exclusives. On the menu, they had Hokkaido cream soft serve, clam chowder, a salmon poke roll. They had something called chicken sticks, which I'm assuming are like chicken tenders. They had the classic Costco dog, although this one was all pork instead of beef. They also had a bulgogi bake instead of a chicken bake. And of course, they had the pizza, pepperoni, cheese, and combo, which we still don't have in the States. Now they did also have a fruit smoothie and that giant chocolate chip cookie. You guys, this area was packed, and filming without catching other people's faces was tricky. In the end, I'd say the food was worth the adventure. Lunch on day one was super cheap, quick, and easy, and everybody loved it. The price for this lunch came out to 2,660 yen, which is just under $18 for the 6 of us. That is a bargain. You guys, traveling to Japan is not cheap. Accommodations in Japan are not cheap. So having a cheap lunch that everyone likes definitely feels like a win. So we're back to our Airbnb now. I can show you our haul from today. We ended up grabbing mostly breakfast essentials like cereal, eggs, milk, bacon, and chocolate muffins, which by the way, our Costco here in Florida does not have chocolate muffins anymore. Now, in this haul, there were supposed to be some Japanese pancake sandwiches, but they didn't make it back because one of the kids accidentally left them on the train, but that's okay. Now moving on to our book off haul, we did pick up some really adorable Disney plushie keychains. These are going to be for next week. My son Jackson didn't really find anything this trip, but my son Griffin, he scored his favorite Duffy and Friends character. My daughter Lily chose a Sylvanian Families character, aka Calico Critters, as we call them here in the US. And then my daughter Mackenzie was thrilled to add some of these older CDs to her collection. And that's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow. For some reason, jet lag has a way of flipping your schedule upside down. Now for us, this meant the very next morning we were all up at the crack of dawn and ready to go. And because that day happened to be a Sunday, we decided to visit some of our amazing friends and fellow YouTubers, the Ryder family. Now they actually help lead Pause Church in their area, and you may know them from their channel, Life in Japan. If you've ever wondered what everyday life is like raising kids in Japan, their videos are an absolute must-watch. They're packed with insights, fun moments, and cultural discoveries that'll leave you inspired. Now, I'll be linking their channel below, so be sure to check it out. Make sure you subscribe and let them know that the Family Fudge sent you. After a lovely chat following the service, we took a few moments to snap some pictures. It's always fun capturing those memories. After we said our goodbyes, we were off to see some cherry blossoms before the end of the season. But wait, you guys, first things first, we had to have snack time. We made our very first stop of many to come at a Japanese convenience store, aka a konbini. And let me tell you, these places are seriously next level when it comes to grabbing a quick bite. And everyone got to pick out their own favorite snack. Now, I got something called a pizzamon, and this is basically like a steamed bun, but instead of pork or beef inside, this one has tomato sauce and melted mozzarella cheese. Mackenzie picked out a tuna onigiri. Miss Lily went for a potato croquette. And then Griffin got something really interesting. This was an egg salad filled pizza toast. And then Jackson also picked a pizzamon. These small snacks definitely hit the spot, but don't worry, there will be an actual late lunch to come, so stay tuned for that. But first, cherry blossoms. Now, cherry blossom season in Japan is such a big deal, and for good reason. It's the perfect time for families and friends to get together, enjoy picnics under the beautiful trees, snap tons of photos, and just soak in all of the springtime vibes. The thing about cherry blossom season is you don't always know when they're going to bloom, so I was so thankful that we were able to see these before they all fell off the trees. After that, we headed back to our Airbnb for our late lunch / early dinner, and this time we let the kids decide. And let me tell you, we had lots of options where we were staying. Right downstairs, there was a KFC, a McDonald's. Also nearby, there were a couple of Japanese burger places like Moss Burger and Zateria. There was even a grocery store called OK, so we had a lot of choices. But what did the kids end up picking? Yep, it was McDonald's. And honestly, I was totally fine with this because I think McDonald's in other countries are so fun and interesting. Of course, some of the menus are the same, but other items can be so different from what you'd find in the States. It's almost like a little foodie surprise. Now, whenever it came to ordering food, buying tickets, or asking for directions, I was the go-to person and I volunteered myself because I did take Japanese in college. I can speak a little bit of it, I can read a little bit of it, but honestly, these days, you don't even have to know much Japanese to get by. With all of the apps and the touch screens, you really don't need to know much Japanese at all. It's kind of a breeze. It definitely makes things way less stressful. So here's what we got. Both Griffin and Lily chose the Happy Meal, which in Japan they actually call a Happy Set. Both of them got a cheeseburger, which are pretty identical to what you'd get here in the US, except maybe a little less squashed. The set also came with fries, a drink, and of course, a toy. Now, while we were there, all the toys were Doraemon themed. Now, I love Doraemon, and if you don't know, he's supposed to be a robotic cat that travels back in time. He is a very well-known character in Japan, and he's been around for about 55 years. Next, my son Jackson got a regular Big Mac set. This was pretty standard and identical to what you get here at home. But then my daughter Mackenzie, she went for something a little different. She ended up getting the teriyaki chicken burger. This was super saucy and smelled delicious. And then for my husband John and for myself, we got a few different things to share. Now, I'm someone who doesn't really enjoy fish, but I do like shrimp if it's not too fishy. So we did end up ordering a shrimp burger to try. Now you guys, this was actually so tasty. It wasn't too fishy at all. It had a zesty sauce, lots of lettuce. I would definitely order this again. Now to go along with that, I also ordered something called Shaka Shaka chicken. Basically, this is like a big chicken nugget that you can add different flavors to. Now, I got the cheese flavored powder, and what you're supposed to do is add in the powder and then shake it all up. And I think that's why they call it Shaka Shaka. Now, honestly, I am not a fan of Shaka Shaka chicken. This was way too salty for me. Next, I also ordered a salad. This was pretty basic, but I definitely needed some veggies by this point. I did end up ordering this with my favorite sesame dressing. This is called Goma, and it's right up there with ranch. It's not the same as ranch, but for me, it's just as good, which is saying a lot. And then to finish this off, we also ordered not one, but 2 different pies. One savory and one sweet. And wow, you guys, this smelled just like a chicken pot pie, minus the chicken. And then finally, for the sweet pie, we went with the strawberry daifuku. This one had red bean paste and mochi inside, and I think this was a special for the cherry blossom season. They don't always have this on the menu. No, honestly, I thought this was really good, but it was also really sweet. It reminded me of a fancy Pop-Tart. Okay friends, the plan for today is to head into Shibuya and Shinjuku. These areas are super popular, they're packed with iconic spots, amazing shopping, and they have so much energy. On our last trip to Shibuya, we were able to get a reservation at Shibuya Sky, which is an incredible observation deck located on the rooftop of Shibuya Scramble Square. This is one of Tokyo's tallest buildings. But this time, instead of going back to Shibuya Sky, we had something else in mind. That included lunch. Now guys, have you ever seen videos from Tokyo where the trains are so crowded that they're literally shoving people onto the train? Well, in Tokyo, that is really a thing, and that was something I was really trying to avoid. And that's why we traveled into Tokyo after rush hour. But as you can see, it was still pretty busy, but we made it okay. By the time we got to Shibuya, we had just enough time to walk across the scramble before heading to lunch, which is right above the scramble. We ended up going to a place called the Share Lounge, and for 1 hour you can have all of the Japanese snacks, drinks, and microwavable food you want while overlooking that Shibuya Scramble. This place is basically like a little convenience store, but not quite as good. Now, I thought this would be a fun option for the kids because they would be able to pick whatever they wanted, but honestly, we found out that people don't really come here for the food, it's more about the view, I'd say. For the drinks, they had things like milk, juice, and soda. For the snacks, they had nuts, crackers, and chips, things like that. They also had ice cream, soft serve, and lots of frozen meals like spaghetti and gyoza. Overall, I'd say this place is a little pricey for what you get, but it is in a really touristy area, so it's kind of expected. And you do get to have that nice view with a place to sit. That's kind of hard to come by in this area. Now, I also have to say that heating up all of the frozen things did become a bit of a challenge because there were 6 of us and only so many microwaves in the entire place for everybody to share. Also, I did have to stop and translate all of the cooking instructions. They were not in English. This wasn't really difficult, but when you only have an hour, it does make things feel a little bit rushed. I think the Share Lounge was good, but next time I'd probably try somewhere else. After lunch, we made sure to squeeze in some shopping, and in this area, there are so many amazing stores to choose from. There's Don Quixote, there's even a Disney store. We did check this out last time we were here, and it was so cute, but this time we stayed strong and we skipped it. Instead, we decided to make our way to a store called Loft, and let me tell you, this store is a dream for stationery lovers like me. If you've ever seen my desk makeover video, which also happens to be the only ASMR video on my channel, you'll already know that I'm obsessed with cute stationery, planners, so of course I had to put this store on our list. And okay, I know these aren't technically stationery, but the moment we walked in, I was so surprised to see an entire display of Stanley cups. I had no idea you could get these in Japan. Funny thing is though, I didn't see a single person walking around the city with one of these cups. So are they popular here? I'm not sure that they are. Of course, the girls and I totally got drawn into the amazing makeup displays. Seriously, so tempting. But in the end, it was the sticky notes, the journals, the planners, and the pens that stole the show for us. We were in stationery heaven. After that, we made our way to the Nintendo store. This was at the very top of my daughter Mackenzie's wish list. And you guys, 4 months before our trip, she worked so hard doing extra chores, doing babysitting, and she saved her own money to get her own souvenirs. It was such a proud mom moment, seeing all of her hard work paying off for her. Before heading back to our Airbnb, we had a couple more touristy things to cross off our list, and those were in Shinjuku. First, we stopped and looked at the famous cat billboard. This giant calico cat is so fun and so cute. They have it on a curved LED screen, which totally makes it look 3D and almost alive. It's like it's coming out of the screen. Now, what I didn't know is this cat actually meows, it takes a nap, and it even interacts with people below by swatting or jumping. Then, just a few blocks from the cat billboard, we found this guy. Yep, it's Godzilla. He's perched right on top of the terrace of the Hotel Gracery in Shinjuku, which, by the way, I would love to stay there someday. That looks like so much fun. And fun fact, you guys, every hour in the afternoon, this Godzilla will actually roar, his eyes will glow, and he even breathes white smoke. It is so cool, and we got there just in time to see it. This totally gives off those Universal Studio vibes. After that, we made our way back to our Airbnb because we did not want to stay out too late on this day because we knew the very next day was going to be a big, long one with a very early start. If you're ever staying in the Tokyo area, I highly recommend taking a day trip out of the city. It's such a fun way to explore more of Japan. There are so many different amazing places to choose from, but for us, the winner was Hakone. We found out that when visiting Hakone, it is a great idea and money saver to get something called the Hakone Free Pass. A day trip to Hakone includes lots of different transportation, and with the Hakone Free Pass, they're all included. After getting from our Airbnb to the Shinjuku station, we got on a train called the Romance Car. And although this is a fast train, it's not exactly the same as one of those famous bullet trains or Shinkansens that you'll also find in Japan. This train is slower and focuses more on the journey itself. It has large windows for enjoying the views. Now, because we were going to be on this train during lunchtime, we made sure to bring our lunches with us. Now, if you were taking a local regular train like the ones in the cities, you're not actually supposed to be eating or drinking on those trains. But for one like this, it's totally fine, and you can even get a special lunchbox called an ekiben to take with you. Now, we did find some ekiben before we got on the train, but since we knew we could find more variety from the kombini, we stopped there too, and I let each person pick out exactly what they wanted for their lunch. For Mackenzie's main item in her lunch, she picked a classic tamago sando, which is the most delicious egg salad sandwich you'll ever have. For her fruit, she picked pineapple, and for a sweet treat, she picked out a mochi donut. And then for her drink, she picked out this fruit-flavored one with orange and mango. Next, for Jackson's lunch, for his main item, he's putting together a Family Mart food hack. And fun fact, you guys, there are a lot of different convenience stores in Japan, but there's basically a top 3. We have Family Mart, 7-Eleven, and Lawson. Everyone has their favorite, and mine is probably 7-Eleven. And at convenience stores in Japan, you'll actually find food you'd want to eat, not like the gas station type convenience stores you'd find here in the States. In Japan, you can get fresh sandwiches, rice balls, meals that they'll heat up for you. They have vitamin drinks, which I love, and lots more. So for this hack, Jackson grabbed a pancake pack. These come with butter and syrup already inside. And then to this, he's going to add a piece of famichiki. And famichiki is basically a big chicken nugget made with juicy dark meat so it never gets dry. He's just gonna stack them together to make himself a sweet and savory pancake chicken sandwich. Then for his fruit, he picked out a banana, and I don't think he picked out a drink for some reason. Now moving on to Lily's lunch. For her main item, she also picked out some pancakes, but no chicken for her because she doesn't really eat much meat. She did, however, pick out a hash brown, a bag of apple slices, and a box of little chocolate cookies shaped like mushrooms. Oh yes, and for her drink, she picked out a pineapple yogurt drink from Okinawa. Then for Griffin's lunch, he went with something that looked like a hot dog. He also grabbed some apple slices and cookies, just like Lily. But then for his drink, he actually filled up his water bottle from yesterday and brought it with him. Next, for my husband John, he did get an ekiben. This was a rice bowl with both beef and pork, and it also had green onions and pickled ginger. He also got a mixed fruit sando, which I tried myself, and it was just kind of mid. To me, it tasted like canned fruit with a bunch of Cool Whip on it, and not all fruit sandwiches do. Some of them are much more fresh tasting, so this one was just okay. And then finally, for my lunch, I grabbed one of my favorite onigiri, which is basically a rice ball. Now, I'm not a big fan of seaweed, and most onigiri are wrapped in it, but this one is chahan flavored, which is so good. I love this one because it's just egg and veggies. It has onions and carrots and soy sauce and white pepper. It is very simple but super delicious. Next, I also got the apple slices, which were kind of mushy. And then I don't know if this technically qualifies as food. It's more of a jelly supplement, and I found this in the vitamin section of 7-Eleven. It's called Mukumi Jelly. This little treat is packed with lots of vitamins, including vitamin C, and it even claims to help reduce temporary facial puffiness. So I'm crossing my fingers that this actually works. And finally, I couldn't resist treating myself to something with strawberries and mochi. Those are two of my favorite things. I found this cute little dessert with Snow Girl written on the top. Now, I'm not really sure why it's called Snow Girl, but basically this turned out being a thin layer of mochi, and inside there was a layer of cream, a layer of cake, and a juicy strawberry. Let me tell you, this was totemo oishii. After lunch, we were able to see a quick glimpse of Mount Fuji, or Fujisan as they call it here. I was so excited we got to see it because it's often hiding behind the clouds. After about 90 minutes on the romance car, we finally arrived at the Hakone Yumoto station for the next leg of our journey and our next form of transportation. It was here that we hopped aboard the Hakone Tozan Railway. Now, this is Japan's oldest mountain railway, and it's famous for its scenic journey up the mountain. Now, this train was much more old-fashioned looking, and to me, it felt like stepping into an anime. This railway uses a really unique switchback system to navigate the steep slopes, making the ride both fascinating and like something we'd never seen before. At the end end of the line, it was time to switch things up again, this time to a cable car. And let me tell you, this was even steeper. Now, this ride wasn't very long, but it did set us up for the most nerve-wracking transportation of the day, the Hakone ropeway. Now, living near Disney, I couldn't help but make comparisons, and the moment I saw these gondolas, I thought, these look just like the Disney Skyliner, but let me tell you, these go way higher, they sway a lot in the wind, and just wait until you see how the landscape changes after the peak. This is the Hakone caldera. This volcanic crater was created by ancient eruptions and is still active today, which is a little bit scary to think about. This landscape almost looked otherworldly. And the smell, you guys, it smelled like eggs, like all the time. And we learned that that was thanks to all the sulfur rising up out of the volcanic vents. And guys, speaking of eggs, next on our to-do list was finding the famous Kuro Tamago, or black eggs. Now, this area is known for them, but more on that in just a bit. The first thing we had to do was escape the crazy strong wind outside. It almost blew us over. We quickly ducked into the gift shop, which was filled with everything black egg themed. They had black egg chocolates, black egg cookies, and even black egg toys. But of course, we were there on a mission for the black eggs themselves. Now, these start out as regular chicken eggs, then they boil them in that sulfur-rich hot spring water. Now, the sulfur and the iron react with the shells, turning them black on the outside, while the inside of the egg still is supposed to look just like a regular boiled egg. Legend says that eating one of these eggs can add 7 years to your life, though I'm pretty sure that's just clever marketing. Once we had our black eggs, we were just about to venture back out into the wind to crack them open to give them a taste. But right at that moment, they announced that because of all the strong winds, they were going to be closing early and we had to cut our visit short. We quickly hopped back on the Skyliner, ropeway, and we made our way down to Lake Ashi for the next part of our journey, the boat ride. By this time, it was getting even colder, so after snapping a few quick pictures, we decided to grab some hot cocoa. This was delicious and doubled as hand warmers. Once we were warmed up, we rushed to get in line for the boat, and just as we did, they announced that they were also going to be closing early due to the wind, and thankfully for us, we'd made it just in time to board their last boat of the day. After crossing the lake, it was time to start heading back to get on the train back to Tokyo. And even though we had taken so many different modes of transportation to get up the mountain, the only way to get back down at this point was going to be a bus. And you guys, this bus was crowded. I was so thankful that the little kids were able to get a seat on the bus, but I ended up standing the entire way back, which was about 45 minutes. And I can tell you, standing on a bus, going down a windy, narrow, and super steep mountain road felt pretty dangerous. I ended up just turning on some music and I tried my best not to fall over. Now, before I end this video, I do have to tell you about those black eggs we bought. Things got so busy that we ended up not trying them for several days. They just sat in our fridge at the Airbnb until we moved all of our stuff to Tokyo Disneyland. And that's where we finally tried them. And you guys, I'm not sure if we got scammed or not, but when we finally opened our bag of black eggs, they were not black at all. Look at this thing. It almost looked like a potato. I still do not understand what happened. Did they lose their color? Did they not actually sell us black eggs? I have no idea. But we did end up peeling them and tasting them, and honestly, they didn't taste strange at all. They basically were just an unsalted, slightly overcooked, hard-boiled egg that wasn't even black. So you guys let me know, do you think we were scammed or is this normal? I have no idea. Now friends, if you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to go check out the Writers channel, you're going to love it. And make sure to come back next time for lunches from Tokyo Disney. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.